Let me ask you something. How much money have you spent on fertilizer over the years? Bags of granular, bottles of liquid feed, special blends that promise huge harvests but never quite deliver. I used to be hooked on them. I thought fertilizers were the only way to keep my soil fertile and my plants productive. Then I learned a traditional Korean farming practice that completely changed the way I grow food. It's simple, it's natural, and once you start using it, you may never need to buy fertilizer again. This isn't a gimmick or some trendy gardening hack. It's a centuries-old technique built on the power of biology, and the reason big agriculture doesn't talk about it is because it shifts the power back to gardeners like us. Today, I'll show you exactly what this method is, why it works so well, and how you can start using it in your own backyard. The secret lies in cultivating indigenous microorganisms. The heart of this method is something called IMO, which stands for indigenous microorganisms. Korean natural farming has used this principle for generations. The idea is straightforward. Your soil doesn't need synthetic fertilizer, it needs life. Microorganisms, bacteria, fungi, and other microscopic allies, are what break down organic matter and deliver nutrients to your plants. When your soil is teeming with the right life, your plants can access everything they need without you pouring in chemical or store-bought feeds. Instead of importing microbes from lab-made products, Korean farmers collect microorganisms from their own environment. That's the trick. Microbes adapted to your climate, your soil type, and your backyard conditions are more resilient, more efficient, and better at sustaining plant growth than anything you can buy in a bottle. Alright, so the process begins with something as humble as a bowl of cooked rice. You take that freshly cooked rice, let it cool down a bit, and then place it in a breathable wooden or clay container. Now this container is left in a shady, undisturbed spot outdoors for several days. And what happens is just incredible. Local microorganisms start to colonize the rice, creating a living, visible culture. You'll notice white, fuzzy growth. That's the good stuff right there. This is your foundation. Once you've captured these microorganisms, they are preserved by mixing them with brown sugar in equal parts. The sugar, well, it locks the microbes in a dormant but stable state. This mixture can then be stored and later diluted with water to apply directly to your soil or plants. It's like having a little microbial army ready to go when you need it. Now, commercial fertilizers, they deliver nutrients in raw form, but they kind of bypass the natural system. Over time, that actually weakens soil biology, making you dependent on adding more and more. It's like a cycle you can't break out of, which isn't ideal for long-term soil health. The Korean natural farming method flips that around. By feeding the soil life, you're building a self-sustaining cycle. Microbes extract nutrients locked in your soil, they fix atmospheric nitrogen, and they even protect plants against disease. The result is soil that grows stronger every season instead of depleted. It's the ultimate closed-loop system, and it costs almost nothing once you've set it up. When you're ready to use your stored microbes, you simply dilute a small amount in water. Think of it as a probiotic tea for your soil. Water your beds, spray it onto leaves, or drench around fruit trees. The microbes spread quickly, colonizing soil and creating a living network that feeds your plants. I've seen tired garden beds spring back to life, peppers double in productivity, and fruit trees hold blossoms better than ever once they had a healthy microbial population. The key is consistency. Apply this solution regularly, and your soil ecosystem becomes richer and more stable. This trick doesn't just replace fertilizer, it makes your soil truly independent. You're no longer at the mercy of buying chemical feeds or hauling bags from the store. Instead, you're building fertility right in your own backyard, with the microbes that already know how to thrive where you live. That's why Big Ag doesn't want you to know about it, because a gardener with living soil doesn't need their products. Learning to work with indigenous microorganisms was one of the most important shifts in my gardening journey. It's simple, inexpensive, and incredibly effective. If you've been relying on store-bought fertilizer, I encourage you to try this. Capture microbes from your environment, preserve them, and feed them back to your soil. Watch how quickly your garden responds when biology, not bags of chemicals, does the heavy lifting. If you found this guide helpful, make sure to subscribe to Botanical Bliss and share this with other gardeners. The more of us who bring soil back to life, the stronger our gardens and our communities will be.